Hello and assalamu alaikum everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. My name is Nadia and today I'm going to answer a question that Homeschool with Us vlog has asked me, and that's a very interesting and very important question. I think a lot of homeschooling families are concerned about the same issue, and that is to how to discipline your children while you're homeschooling. And also I'm going to share a comment by Samreen Wasik. So let's get started. We are a product of schools ourselves, and we tend to believe that if our kid is not getting up early in the morning, brushing their teeth, following a certain regime, a routine, just like school, because at school they have to go at a certain point in time and they have to do everything regularly, day in and day out, different periods at different regular times. They have to do their homework. They have a routine in their life. So when we see them that they are, because that's right, if you are going to leave your children on their own, so most of the time what they do is that they end up playing all day long. So when we see that happening, we question our approach. We become uncertain and we get fearful of the consequences this kind of routine or this kind of action might have for our children. And Homeschool with Us vlog has also mentioned that kids don't listen to their parents much, but they listen to their teachers. So I'm going to try to answer all these points one after the other. Her main question was how to deal with the fear and uncertainty that kids might turn out to be chaotic and undisciplined. And also, if we're not thinking about on these lines, if we're not thinking on these lines, so what's going to happen, a lot of times what happens is that the arguments that we hear from other people also is that, okay, everything is good about homeschooling, but what about disciplining? How are you going to discipline your kids or to provide them with the kind of routine that they're able to follow at school? So in order to understand this thing, the first concern of most of the parents I want to address here is they're concerned about their kids spending their time playing. Play is basically, I'm not talking about sports, because at school when we get the playtime, or sports is also equal to play. So play is when kids are having toys or any kind of thing, like their bicycles or anything that they find, and they are playing with it, they are spending their time. That helps them grow their brain in terms of imagination, creativity, and problem solving. Play is basically the imitation of the real life, and it helps them evaluate things, observe things, and then figure out what problems they have, and then they use solutions to solve those problems. That's why I always, when it comes to our nature of controlling our kids, I encourage parents to observe their children while they are playing. And you would be amazed that there is so much of growth happening at that point in time that is not possible when they are controlled. They are, in a controlled environment. Through this, I want you to understand that the discipline of the school is basically a form of control. Your child is not listening to you or listening to the teacher or maybe the principal or the people outside, is because because of fear or because of pleasing the other person. While both these emotions are not very healthy emotions, there is a sense of competition at school, there's a sense of proving yourself at school in the environment that you are growing. So if we try to understand it, the discipline is a part of a control and propaganda mentality, and somehow we believe that that is an essential part of our kids' growth. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And then when we see our kids thriving and being on their own, we going through the natural clock, this is not something that we really feel easy with. Like, you know, are you trying to understand me? Because this is a very different thing that we're experiencing. Letting your children be is a very new concept. It's a lot of parents, they feel it because they are not able to keep themselves contained. They're not able to accept this thing happening, that the child is not doing what the child is supposed to do. And what a child is supposed to do is what we believe is what people has told, what the system, what the government, what the higher, high ups have made us believe, that this is how the child should behave. And if the child is not behaving this certain way, then there is something wrong either with your child or with you, or you're answerable for that. So this is the root cause, this is the root thing that we have to eradicate to progress and to stop that cycle of shaming ourselves, the cycle of fear. And as now, again, the other day, what I mentioned here is that when I say that we leave our kids on their own, it doesn't really mean that we don't teach them self-discipline. We don't teach them respect. We don't teach them manners. And when this comes against, this is not a child's responsibility. Like homeschool with us also mentioned that sometimes I have to force my kids to do self-care routine, also to brush your teeth and to take a bath and things like that. Always remember that this is a very, very slow process. When you go without control, there are two things. Either you can instill fear and control. That happens when you have to control the masses with fear, with consequences. That's the way how you control the masses, herd animals. But if you want to control, if you want to instill certain things in your children, this is something when love comes in. There are two ways, either fear or love. I like in this video when I told you that they don't listen to us parents, but they listen to their children, their teachers. There are other things, because they are afraid of being left out in a class. They know in a class of 30 people, they know that a teacher is the one they have to get her favor in order to survive here in that particular controlled environment. But at home, that's the main point. You win when you win your children through love. And this is not only going to instill discipline in your kids, but it's also going to create such a lasting bond that it is going to be very difficult for anybody outside to manipulate his or her mind. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's a very complicated question, trust me. Like, I made like 40 videos, and after that this might be the one final one, because I couldn't really come up with things that I could deliver comprehensively. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Bottom line of unschooling and homeschooling is bonding with your kids, the kids bonding with their siblings, and that team is our main goal. And when we talk about self-discipline, that doesn't start, and that's not that we want to have manifested in our children. This is something that we have to work on first. I'm a mother. I need to know I have to get up early in the morning. I have to make sure that my meals are planned. I have to make sure my kitchen is clean every time I know that my house is clean, the laundry is done, that is my routine. That is the regimen that I am following. And I know that. And I've also seen many other friends of mine saying this, that when they are like sick or they are not getting up and doing their work, their kids come up and like they ask them why the house is not clean today. They either ask it or they start cleaning it themselves. So this is a kind of a thing that the purpose of homeschooling or unschooling is to have individuals who have civic sense, individuals who are disciplined in a way that they know what is respecting other people, what is loving the environment, animals, and what is like not breaking promise, not lying, and being honest, and being kind. I know it's a very, very hard thing, trust me. It's like you are nourishing it this way, and the kind of world they're going to face is very selfish and senseless and deceptive and disrespectful. Because I've seen that, because a lot of parents, they don't say that they don't scold their kids for disrespecting elders, because they are like, our kids are confident. They are very proud of this thing, that our kids are confident. But this is not really the confidence. And those used to be the values that people used to work on, schools used to work on at those values, but now it's not. So my answer to you would be, and to every parent who is concerned about discipline, is that we have to start it with ourselves. We have to see that what loopholes we have, where we have to mend ourselves. Then our kids would pick it. And it's a slow process. Please don't. If I have to tell my child to brush her teeth every day, I'm going to keep on saying that. If they're मादी कभी सीधा जूता नहीं पहनती, or sometimes जूता उतार के फिरती रहती है, then I don't let her be. At that point, I just ask her, मादी जूता, मादी जूता, मादी जूता, मादी सीधा जूता, मादी जूता. And I know I gotta do that, and at one point she would do it on her own. So this is basically, and again, this is not my final word. This is how I perceive things, and this is what I think. And your household is different, and your understanding of how you're going to homeschool is different. So my only thing is here, what I'm trying to tell you guys here is that get overwhelmed with the idea of discipline. Your child, as a human being, you should be having a faith and trust in your own abilities and the abilities of your children. अपने पे काम करो जितना हो सकता है. You work on yourself जितना हो सकता है. Like अपने पे काम कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता. कब्र तक जाते जाते we have to keep on working ourselves and leave the rest to Allah, and everything is going to be okay. Okay, so because again, it's a very, very challenging process. It is not easy. If the child is not 6.5 years, like 6.5 years, if the child is not, listening to you, or a child is going about his own way, that's fine. That's totally fine. They have their free will. They have the right to live freely, to think freely, to act freely. And you are there to facilitate them. You're there to guide them. You're there to tell them what's right, what's wrong. And that's what you're gonna do all your life. That's what you're gonna. It's not that one time we're like 90 years old, which I'm not sure we're gonna be. So yeah, till death, we're going to tell them, listen, this is not right. This is not right. This is what you gotta do. This is what it should be done, but with love and respect and with the personal space. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. And yes, I'm going to mention Sabreen Lossik's comment. She said that I'm a mom of 6 kids and an unapologetic unschooler. I say unapologetic unschooler because it took me some time to come out and express it openly that me and my kids thrive best in an unschooling environment. That's a so beautiful line. She said it thrive best. That's where parents know. That's a line which comes out of a parent who has observed her kids, who has witnessed a change in her kids, that they are way more productive, they are way more expressive when they are left alone in their own natural growth. She said, like me, she had been watching tons and tons of videos where parents have been trying to implement the same school system at home, and the same thing, developing establishing a library, providing them with desks, and making a classroom at home and things like that. But she said, I realized that real life is way different than this. And most of the time, like same thing. The line she mentioned, homeschool with us vlog, said our kids might not be taking us that seriously, or sometimes we don't take ourselves that seriously. Most of the people, they tell me that a school has a system, an established system. It's working on discipline, it's working on curriculum, it's working on, they hire teachers, those teachers are well educated, they have degrees in education field. I'm not the educator. How I would know that, how I'm going to educate my child? I'm not the educator. And I would say that a parent is the best educator. I don't think there can be any other person who can educate or can make your child best in its best terms is you. No one else can do that. So you have to be very confident, you have to trust yourself, and you have to listen to your heart and the heart of your children and keep on thriving. Thank you so much, Sabreen, for sharing your wonderful, beautiful experience. These things really matter a lot to me. And you said that you like it, I come the way I do, like without makeup and things like that. Yeah, because I talk to moms, and moms are like that. As you said that you are like that, so what we see is that it's a delusion. So I just don't want that, like the person who's sitting on the other side of the camera, it won't believe that it's something not real. It's something, I don't want to create a delusion of image. I don't know how to put it. It's, to me, when you are more like real, it, whatever you say, it also makes sense. That's how I learned, that's how I believe, and I don't know what other people do. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very much. Please keep on asking me questions, and I will try my best to answer them as as comprehensively as I can, to my best understanding. And thank you so much. I think I'm so grateful and so thankful that I completed this video, but it was a long video. I'm sorry. Thank you. Take care, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.